I did sports in high school, and in the locker room there were people smoking marijuana, so I wanted to be a part of it, and I joined then, and then it progressed to cocaine, from cocaine to heroin. I didn't get clean the first time around. I went through numerous of treatment centers. My youngest baby, when I found out I was pregnant with her, she's 15 now. I didn't want to be carrying a baby inside of me and still using drugs. So I then went to a facility in Baltimore, and they was like, we have to discharge you because you're pregnant. So I cried and I dropped to my knees because at that time, they wasn't allowed to have women that were pregnant in detox facilities.
In Maryland, we have 4 residential treatment programs that specialize with working with women with children, and then we also have one, we call it a diagnostic and transitional program for women and children in Baltimore. And so these programs do a wealth of things. They provide case management, they screen for trauma, so they're able to address any issues of trauma. They provide child care services. They provide smoking cessation, they provide parenting skills, life skills, training. As you can imagine, a lot of them will, get full pretty quickly.
The policy out Bayview was 7 days of detox. They start you with 35 milligrams of methadone. I didn't like it, but by the grace of God, my daughter through the whole 9 months did not have a trace of methadone in her. So I used the methadone, and I didn't like the way it had me feeling. It was taking me outside of myself. I continued to nod. I asked to come off the methadone, but then I started going through withdrawals that I had never felt in my life. So I went back out and I started using again.
Women struggle with entering treatment, one, because they have to think about the kids. Where am I going to leave my kid if I go into treatment? Even the women and children programs that we have, if they have children that's over 10, they cannot enter into treatment with them. And some of the programs will only accept 2 children. And so sometimes that's a barrier for women to enter treatment. We do have 2 jurisdictions that provide specialized recovery housing for women with children. And in those houses, women can bring as many, kids if they have more than 2, and there's no age restrictions. If they're over 10, they can come to the house. So that's one way we've been able to address the issues, to maybe move them in recovery housing.
I was blessed enough to go into a recovery house after I made a decision to get clean and stay clean, where my daughter was allowed to come there, stay with me there, stay weekends with me. She was smaller then, but she was there every step of the way. We slept in these bunk beds together, and I just felt the need, like it's time to step up and be a mom.
When you work with a woman, you really have to work on a family recovery plan. It's not just a woman, you also need to help support the whole family in the recovery. It makes a world of a difference in a woman's recovery, and some of the programs that I visited and the women that I've talked to, many have told me, if you take away my children, it's going to devastate me.
Taking a lady's child when, because she has an addiction, what happens is once you take their child, that just gives her more room to run freely and use without responsibility. So I think there should be more programs around for women that are pregnant, that's addicted to drugs, and also after they have their babies, that they could help them get housing, do parenting classes. It's no book to teach you how to be a mom, but you can be educated, and I think it should be more support in that area for women and children.
The governor, through the Heroin and Opiate Emergency Task Force, provided us additional funding this past year to expand recovery housing, so we've been able to increase the number of recovery houses that we have for women, which is really great. Also through the Heroin and Emergency Opioid Task Force, we've been able to provide detoxification services in one of our residential treatment programs. So the woman can go into detox, bring her children, and receive child care for the children. So it's really reduced the barrier, one of the barriers for women to enter treatment. So if we can kind of increase the continuum of services that we have available to address the needs of everyone, women with children, pregnant women, and men as well who have, custody of children, and be able to also address those needs as well.
I've never driven a day in my life until I got clean. I bought my first home this year. Never thought I would own nothing. After you get clean, you have to rebuild those relationships. And it's not always easy every day for me. My 23-year-old, that was one of my kids that I did use with. She had a hole in her heart from the cocaine use where it had ate through her heart. She had to have surgery. We've gotten better, but we still have a long way to go. If anyone is struggling with addiction, actively using, there is hope. I was a person who came from nothing to today. I am somebody. I eat dinner at home, at the table every night with my daughter. I pick her up from school. While I'm in my office at home doing my work, she's in her room. By 9:30, I'm in the bed. I'm back up at 5 and I do it again. I didn't know where I would end up. I didn't know what I would be doing. There were days where I had in my mind I wanted to give up, but then I had to look and I stopped. I have this mirror when I go out my door and I would stop. So always look in the mirror, ladies, and just give yourself a daily affirmation. I'm somebody. I'm going to be somebody. I'm beautiful. Once somebody has support, their primary support, there's nothing that women cannot achieve, because I believe women are very strong creatures.
I would just like to see a continuum of services. I'd like to see us decrease the number of overdoses here in Maryland, but always the goal should be, to keep the family together.